And if I can just jump back to Tough Enough for a second, I want to ask what it was like, having that opportunity to train people and mentor people, because I don't know how much in many ways you set out to be a role model in your life, but I don't think there's a single female wrestler I've spoken to in the last 2 or 3 years that when I've said, who got you into the business and, who were some of your influences, I genuinely don't think anyone has not mentioned your name when I've asked them in recent times. So what's it like to be held in that kind of regard, and when you get to work with people to pass on your knowledge?
Well, that's amazing to hear, and it makes all that hard work so worth it. It's kind of cool. It was great. Like, that was the number one reason I went back, was like, I'd love the opportunity to go back and just, yes, I had quite a lot of experience as far as I was, almost 7 years of in-ring experience. And it's interesting because I think people don't realize, to be to perform on that grand stage is a whole different thing than, you really it's this combination of, and people find this once they get to the WWE, it's a whole other level of like the combination of performance, right? So the athletic performance and the entertaining performance, it has to be that exact match, to really just make an impact on that stage. And so to go back and sort of parlay some of the knowledge that I've gained was great. And, it was funny because when they first called, I said, like, I'm just letting you know, like, I'm going to bring some yoga to this, to the show. Is that cool? Because for me, that's what made me better as a performer. And it was a happy accident again, where they were like, of course, whatever you feel like, made you was part of your training regime. And so when I went back, we integrated some yoga into their training, which is important because it was something I realized now. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I had this like almost maintenance training and preventative measures that that would have been taking along the way, would have definitely helped me not only maybe stay longer, but my body could have been, kind of hanging around a little bit longer. It helped with my recovery, but it all helped me as a performer. Like, it allowed me to just move and just do the things I wanted to do. And the cool thing was, is like watching how they integrated these little yoga lessons into their training. So, like things like, if they come to me and I'm really nervous before my thing with Stone Cold tonight, like, I said, let's tap into some of the breathing exercises we did in yoga class. And so they would do that. And then they would say, like, how do I pull myself out of the ring? And like, engage your core, kind of like we did in class. I was like, oh, it's kind of like, wow, this yoga stuff really is kind of cool, And if you notice, actually, Chris Jericho has been talking about how, he made a return to the ring, and that's something that he integrated, was getting the yoga going on he started doing some yoga training, and he had touched base with me about, like, what did you do to really make that full comeback, and how long did it take before you realized the yoga really impacted your ability to come back to the ring. And so I shared that with him, and I know he's been doing some work with DDP, another fellow wrestler yogi. And so it's kind of cool. So I was able to do that sort of thing. And what made me better as a performer and as an entertainer, and that was, some of the training techniques that I applied. And seeing them apply it, and then now to be in touch with them still, and they're still making it, and they're doing what they're doing out there, but like keeping in touch with me and saying, I want to make you proud. And it's a really cool feeling, and to know that they're out there. And I was kind of the same way with Fit Finley, someone like a mentor like that in my life, in my training, was like, when I went out there, it was important to me that like my mentor Fit Finley was like proud. I was like, if something went awry in the match, I was like, oh God, I don't want to let him down, because I'm doing this for myself, but I want to make my trainer proud. And so it's kind of neat to see, the kids are all in touch with me all the time. And like, AJ Kirsch is just, he's kicked it up like a notch. He's just training like crazy, doing the yoga, and he's just decided, like, I'm going to make this. And he didn't win Tough Enough, but that's okay. He's going to go, he's going to take all that experience from Tough Enough, and he'll, and I think that kid's got a future. So it's kind of cool to watch.